Avenir Rural Mentoring. Avenir Rural Mentoring is a non-profit organisation designed to focus on delivering self-development modules for high school-age students in rural Australia. The infancy of the organisation provides an excellent opportunity to implement Web 2.0 tools and Enterprise 2.0 ideology into the core organisational structure. Aims. The organisation has several aims that need to be fulfilled, including building self-esteem, where young people in rural areas are empowered to do the impossible; capacity building, where young people in rural areas are equipped with the skills to make the impossible possible; community development, where young people in rural areas have a greater sense of connection to their own community; bridging communities for collective strength, where young people in rural areas have a greater understanding of other communities; and lastly, community sustainability, where rural communities have an increased retention of young people post-high school. Obstacles. A number of obstacles exist that may hinder Avenir Rural Mentoring from achieving its goals. These include geography, communication, pedagogy, domain knowledge, access, costs, mobility, skills, usability, and politics. Support. A number of factors exist that will help Avenir Rural Mentoring to achieve its goals. These include digital natives, user demographics, community need, Web 2.0, Enterprise 2.0, and Wikinomics. Technology versus pedagogy. When attempting to achieve these goals through the use of Web 2.0 applications, the team had to consider technology versus the current pedagogy within the educational sector. The factors involving technology include geography, communication, access, Web 2.0, costs, mobility, and usability, while the factors involving the current pedagogy include connectivism, skills, domain knowledge, Enterprise 2.0, Wikinomics, and politics. Technology without the appropriate pedagogy will not yield the desired results. Likewise, without the technology, pedagogy is redundant. The two terms rely on each other to work effectively. Technology, through the use of Web 2.0, will help Avenir Rural Mentoring overcome obstacles of geography, communication, and access, while reducing costs, increasing usability, and helping Avenir Rural Mentoring move into the mobile age. The pedagogy is a hybrid form of connectivism, embellishing Enterprise 2.0 theories such as Wikinomics. The pedagogy will assist in strengthening skills in the domain knowledge. Furthermore, the appropriate pedagogy will help sway political might in the contemporary educational climate. Enterprise 2.0, Wikinomics, Participatory Culture, and Media Literacy. Successfully implementing Enterprise 2.0 in Avenir Rural Mentoring's core will involve the necessary adoption of three key Enterprise 2.0 ideologies, including Wikinomics, Participatory Culture, and Media Literacy. Wikinomics. Wikinomics involves openness, peering, sharing, and acting global. These new values of sharing, peering, and openness bring to society a more sustainable model of entrepreneurship in which companies are socially responsible by being open and transparent, and which users are socially responsible by dedicating part of their energy to common causes. Kobayashi claimed that social capital in online communities was the capacity to encourage positive social change, and Bodal claimed transparency encourages participation. These statements, in conjunction with one another, advocate for Avenir Rural Mentoring to implement strong Web 2.0 integration into WordPresses as a means of disseminating and promoting content focused on community well-being and individual development. SCORM is an acronym meaning Shareable Content Object Reference Model. The acronym represents an international standard for structuring content to create online learning experiences able to be implemented over a variety of learning management systems. Such a standard offers the potential for vast open repositories of e-learning materials able to be manipulated and redistributed. The use of SCORM standard means that Avenir Rural Mentoring will be acting globally, being open and transparent, sharing resources and content, and peering within a larger community in a constant state of better with regard to learning developments. Participatory culture. Reingold proposed a participatory pedagogy as a means of empowering individuals to contribute to a global identity. Participatory culture fostered by such a pedagogy focuses on relatively low barriers to artistic expression and civic engagement, strong support for creating and sharing creations with others, some type of informal mentorship whereby what is known by the more experienced is passed along to the novices, members who believe that their contributions matter, and members who feel some degree of social connection with one another. Many have argued that these participatory cultures represent ideal learning environments. James Geese calls such informal learning cultures affinity spaces and explores why people learn more, participate more actively, and engage more with popular culture than they do with the contents of their textbooks. This kind of activity contributes to the notion of what Doiron and Aslan describe as a new learner, a contemporary student armed with the knowledge of how to be a part of a global participatory community. Schools as institutions have been slow to react to the emergence of this new participatory culture. The greatest opportunity for change is currently found in after-school programs and informal learning communities. Media literacy. Avenue Rule Mentoring attempts to bridge informal learning and community engagement of the participatory culture with formal educational initiatives. The outline proposal attempts to facilitate this kind of learning activity by integrating media literacy pedagogy as a tool to develop avenues for community engagement. This type of literacy focuses on Web 2.0 tools such as Facebook, WordPress, Tumblr, LinkedIn, Wikipedia, Twitter, YouTube, etc., as a means of strengthening community engagement. This proposal has two Web 2.0 solutions in mind that will help Avenue Rule Mentoring to achieve its goals. Research reveals a positive correlation between informal environments and learning. WordPress, BuddyPress, BePress, and Elg offer advantages related to social network sites. Furthermore, when hosted, they allow for safe, controlled, closed, yet open learning environments. Closed, in this case, refers to the control of membership authority and private content creation. Open refers to the ability to integrate services such as Twitter by installing various plugins. This allows for a torrent of global and diverse opinions and the ability to integrate Enterprise 2.0 ideologies such as Wikonomics. Both WordPress and Elg are open source software systems with strengthened communities of developers. Both systems therefore offer the opportunity for Avenue Rule Mentoring and the community functionality through various plugins developed by large open communities. As seen on screen, the advantages of these applications are numerous. WordPress and Elg share a number of attributes which make them desirable. For instance, both Elg and WordPress share a community of developers, an abundance of plugins, a high level of usability, and an integrated file sharing capacity. Only Elg, however, has an integrated blog, wiki, and forum capacity, while only WordPress has a well-developed mobile app, SCORM cloud plugin compatibility, and the blog import-export functionality. When weighing up the options, considering the most desirable attributes of each application is key. As evident on the screen, WordPress is the most desirable application for Avenue Rule Mentoring's purposes. Political, privacy, trust, and censorship-related issues are exacerbated when youth are involved in online communities. Therefore, this proposal has ruled out Tumblr, Flickr, Facebook, and Pinterest, etc. Implementation. Implementation of this application within Avenue Rule Mentoring's framework is a three-stage effort. Stage 1 involves the development of the website, which involves planning, designing, and building the website to Avenue Rule Mentoring specifications. Stage 2 involves branding and community development, which involves promoting Avenue Rule Mentoring's brand and developing the online community on the website. Stage 3 involves extending the reach beyond the base website and involves planning, designing, implementation, operation, and maintenance. In this plan, we have an integrated process which introduces new learning experiences within the community. As such, the management of the system is a constant state of better. Return on investment. As a non-profit organisation, the ROI will be weighed on the following rather than primarily on revenues. Anecdotal feedback. Anecdotal feedback is feedback based on the amount of users and examples of other non-profit organisations who have benefited from social media and Web 2.0. Correlation involves correlating the performances of two schools with a similar socio-cultural scaling, one subscribing to Avenue Rule Mentoring and the other not, over a period of time. This will allow for accurate measuring of the ROI of the integrated system. Lastly, integrated analytics, which will involve an in-house analytical service that is offered through the automatic Jetpack plugin to monitor site activity. Avenue Rural Mentoring's collaborative learning community involves 3 schools. School 1. Affinity spaces offer powerful opportunities for learning because they are sustained by common endeavours that bridge differences such as age, class, race, gender and educational level, and because people can participate in various ways according to their skills and interests. This is because they depend on peer-to-peer teaching, with each participant constantly motivated to acquire new knowledge or refine their existing skills, as well as because they allow each participant to feel like an expert whilst tapping into the expertise of others. School 2. Informal learning communities can evolve to respond to short-term needs and temporary interests, whereas the institutions supporting public education have changed little despite decades of school reform. Informal learning communities are ad hoc and localized. Informal education communities are bureaucratic and increasingly national in scope. We can move in and out of informal learning communities if they fail to meet our needs. We enjoy no such mobility in our relations to formal education. Affinity spaces are also highly generative environments from which new aesthetic experiments and innovations emerge. School 3. This program allows schools to create informal learning spaces, or affinity spaces. Such spaces can be divided into groups of students as a means of developing notions of personal learning networks. This kind of activity can ensure learning and organisation objectives are met. Through SCORM, these learning spaces have the ability to read and write learning experiences and distribute them through the web. Thus, students become participatory members of a Wikonomically driven learning environment.